Moving on now to our third story, Russia's president has asked the upper house of parliament to revoke a resolution allowing him to send troops into Ukraine. Vladimir Putin's spokesman says the move is aimed at normalizing the situation in the eastern regions of Ukraine. Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko has praised Putin's decision. Putin had issued the request for the use of force after Ukraine's former president Viktor Yanukovych was ousted in February following months of street protests. The move comes as pro-Russian leaders in eastern Ukraine announced Monday that they would respect a ceasefire declared by Poroshenko last week. Russia's parliament says Putin's move is an effort to diffuse tensions in the neighboring country. Mr. James Jatras, former U.S. Senate policy analyst, is with us now live from Washington. Mr. Jatras, welcome to the Top 5, sir. Do you think this is a sign that Russia is going to go ahead with the ceasefire plan that's been proposed by Mr. Poroshenko, and that this is going to actually help ease the situation without any further turmoil?
I think the Russian move is a reflection of the fact that for the first time in a long time, we do have a glimmer of a hope of a peaceful settlement in eastern Ukraine. Initially, the leaders of the Donetsk and Lugansk Oblast that had declared independence in the eastern part of the country were very skeptical of the ceasefire declared by Petro Poroshenko in Kiev. They have now accepted, at least tentatively, that ceasefire for the simple reason that for the first time, there is now a dialogue opening, and this is something that they have been requesting for a very long time, that there will be some kind of discussion between Kiev and the eastern oblasts about the needs of their population to feel secure, to have regional autonomy, if not federalization, respect for the Russian language, and so forth. So if those discussions can move forward, we might have a road to a settlement, but that still remains to be seen.
Well, what about the level of tension between Russia and the West as a whole? Because we are hearing that the EU is increasing sanctions on Russia, and it was also saying that it's going to impose sanctions on anything that's produced in the Crimean Peninsula. It's not going to allow any products from there to be, for instance, sold in anywhere in Europe. Do you think that that tension is going to increase?
I don't know how much in the way of Crimean products really gets sold anywhere in Europe. This, unfortunately, is a reflection of some thinking in Europe, and unfortunately even more so in Washington, that threats and polarization are the only way to proceed with the Russians here. I think the more optimistic line is the fact that in these talks between the Eastern Oblasts and Kiev, we do have Russian and European observers. And so I think if there can be the basis of a settlement internally in Ukraine, that will go a long way to diffusing the crisis with respect to Europe and Russia as well.
Right, and when you talk about a settlement here, how do you think that settlement is expected at least to look like? Because we know that in Donetsk, where an independent People's Republic has been announced, is that in any way going to be recognized, for instance, by authorities? And is that, what those who are engaged in dialogue want, and say that they were going to stick to that?
This is a very difficult question. I don't know how, of course, Kiev can accept the idea of an independent republic, but they can certainly accept the idea of an autonomous republic or a federalized status for the republic. And would the leaders of those republics be willing to take a step back from their independence declaration and accept that? I think maybe they would if they thought it was genuine, if they thought the protections were there and the respect for their local population, which they really have not seen up till now.
Mr. James Jatras, former U.S. Senate policy analyst, thank you very much, sir, for being with us.